Well, good morning, evening, afternoon. I was a little bit better prepared for this one than I was in the video that I did last evening at 9:09. This one is at 10:10 in the morning, and it's for tomorrow, the 8th of November. The title that I've selected is this: Is the OPPT legal homeopathy? Earlier, I listened to an hour of Kate of Gaia's Outside the Box Critical Mass Radio broadcast from July 23rd, when he debunked the OPPT work done by Heather Tucci-Jaraf. I get a lot of good things from Kate, and even did a video a few days back featuring documents released by both Kate and Heather. I did not know at the time that there was such strong opinion against the OPPT by Kate. I am saddened when any of the myriad of freedom fighters turn their energies against each other. That, to me, is so counterproductive. It was said by the one who sent me the video that Kate's position was that the OPPT was fraud, and you cannot fight fraud with fraud. I liken this to homeopathy, where a small dose of poison is the remedy for healing. Is the use of our name always fraud? Not to me. Whew. I do my best, and it's not always easy, but it's because I don't always agree with everything that anyone says. And there's probably, if I went back and listened to all of my videos, I could probably find more than one where I no longer held that point of view that I was expressing, perhaps even with some passion, previously. I consider myself a learner. I'm here observing and learning and doing my best to remember the things that I need to remember and to know the things I need to know and to become what I need to be in order to do what I feel has been my goal since I was a little kid. And that is, I've always said, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Again, the Lord's Prayer that we were taught, more correctly probably called the disciples' prayer, but nevertheless, that has been critical in my life. And as a little boy, the story of Solomon impressed me so much. And I asked God for wisdom. And I'll tell you, it's not been an easy path, because I've tried to hold on for my love for Jesus and my love for people and all people. And throughout my life, I've always been, as I've said before, one who roots for the underdog. It's just the way it's been. I like to side with the people that seem to have the least going for them. That may be right. It may be not so good. But it has been the nature of my character in wanting everyone to have good, everyone to be blessed, everyone to be healed. If I could, if I had it in my power, and maybe I do, and I just haven't tapped into it yet, I would go around healing everybody. Because I don't like to see suffering. I don't like to see people going hungry on a planet of abundance. Excuse me. I don't like to see people drinking poisoned water, even water from their tap that is supposed to be good for them, but we know it's been doctored and fluoride and other things have been put in the water. I don't like all of the injustices that I see in the world, where people's rights are trampled on by the very people that are supposed to be protecting those rights. There's an awful lot in the system of this world that just upsets me tremendously. I do not like this world. It is a hellhole. It is a liar's paradise where lies predominate everything and everything is fraud. I agree with you there, Kate. I agree with you. Everything is fraud, including the roles that I play. Much of that, too, ultimately, when it boils right down to it, you're probably right. It's fraud, too. And I think that Heather did an outstanding job, and I hold what she did in 2012 in filing all those OPPT papers, and then into 2013 continuing to file them, and then the most recent one, the will and the word of I, that I talked about the other day. I consider those powerful, powerful. And she had the feeling that she was the one that was waking up. And because she woke up, everybody could wake up. Now, I get it, Kate, that you have the exact same feeling as Heather. And yet you're saying Heather, if I understand correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but you're saying that Heather did it all wrong because she's using names and she's using the UCC to basically upend the UCC and stop the fraud. Well, as I said in the blurb, I consider that very good medicine. It's homeopathy. You're taking the actual poison, the actual thing that has been used as the prison to liberate the prisoners or to bring health to them. I see the same thing with money. The same thing that has been used to entrap us is used to free us. And our name, when we take possession of our name, I am not a name, I have a name. And it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me that it's a name that was given to me. It doesn't matter to me that the state thinks it owns the name. It's all that the state does is and always has been fraud. All of it. All of it always has been fraud. Now, we have been pulled into that fraudulent system without our knowledge, without our consent, without our will. And all this thing about, well, we intend when we get a license or register something, we intend something evil, we intend something to be part of a system. No, I don't. No, I don't. I took out a driver's license after I let it lapse for 1.5 years. I took it out with all my rights reserved, signing it by, Ron Van Dyke, all rights reserved, right on my driver's license. Okay? I did that. I have gone through other papers where my name is being used. Why? Because my name is what is recognized in this world. And you say, Ron, then you're part of the system. You're not walking the fine line between the narrow road between this world and the other world. You're compromising. All right, call it a compromise then. But I have to live in this world. I have to exist in this world. And these people that I know, some of them, that totally try to remove themselves from the system in every which way imaginable, often end up appealing to those that are still in the system to support them because they can't support themselves because that's the way the world is set up. And you say that's a cop-out. All right, then I'm copping out. But I'm a pragmatist. I'm an idealistic pragmatist. Yes, I have ideals, the same as Kate does, the same as Heather does, and they each speak a different language, but it's the same language to me. It's the language of liberating humanity. And I'm not interested in just liberating me. Unlike what Kate said, that all you're interested in is liberating you. Because if you can liberate one person, you can liberate the whole bunch. I get that. And I applaud that. I agree with that. I'm not the one person. Heather said she was. You say you are. I think you're both really, really playing an important role. And I think there are other people also that are playing a really, really important role. And we stand on their shoulders, the ones that have gone before, the Bill Coopers and the people that paid with their own lives for trying to get people to see these things before most people were even close to being ready. But they held the torch out. They held up the light. And they let their light shine based on what they knew, based on what they understood to be true, to the best of their ability where they are. And when all these people criticize Benjamin Fulford and some of the others and say they're dark workers and they're Illuminati or they're Masons or they're this or they're Jesuits or this or that or some other evil thing, and you try to put them down. Why are you trying to put down people that are trying to make a difference, positive difference in the world, and to liberate humanity from the fraud and from the deception that has run rampant and all the corruption that has gone along with it and all the crimes against humanity? Let's get on the same page and work together, please. And let's not be afraid to take a little bit of the poison that will ultimately free us. As I know I did a video some time ago about the snake being lifted up on the cross. That was the remedy that Moses provided for the children of Israel. I talked about that in a previous video not all that long ago. That was the remedy. And Christ was the serpent lifted up on the cross so that everybody that looked at the Christ would be free. And I'm not talking about an external Christ here. These are mythological symbols, archetypal symbols of something that is very real in reality, in the reality that is not manifest in the world. They are real myths that have real power. And even you are saying that we have to be in Christ. It's not worshiping an external Christ. We have to be in Christ and recognize Christ in us. That's the truth. It's not about a religion. Religions, we agree, have been corrupted, just like governments have been corrupted. Church and state have been the same thing for a long time, and we didn't even recognize it. And it was total corruption, total fraud. Humanity is waking up, and I'm all in favor of everyone that's playing his or her role, every single one of you that are doing your very best to let your light shine, to learn the truth for yourself, to have the experiences that you need for yourself to liberate you, because every one of us that works on liberating ourselves will help others to be liberated too. But I also know this: I will never be free until all of my brothers and sisters are free. That's how I see it. I don't want freedom for me. I want freedom for us, because I am part of a greater whole. I am connected to something bigger than just my personal life. But it is my personal life that talks to me, that communicates with me, because it's my personal life that I experience. I am I. The will and the word of I. I am, I am, I am. I, who shall not be with legal name, hereby proclaim to all with unclean hands. Well, we all have unclean hands. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. We've all been led astray. Every single one of us has been deceived. Every single one of us, whether we think we're on the dark side or the light side, we've all played into the hands of the deception. We've all fallen by way of the matrix. We've all gone through this process, and we're going to come out of it together. That is my prayer. That is my vision. And we're going to celebrate and dance in the streets. We're going to sing a new song. We're each going to know the name that was given to us before the foundation of the world. A new name that is our name forever. And it's a name. And it's our name. It's our identity. And it's given to us by God. I look for that day to come. I believe it's coming very quickly. I believe the day of reckoning is at hand, and it's also the day of reconciliation. For Christ's, the ministry of Christ is the ministry of reconciliation. He is in the world, reconciling the world to himself, and she, the goddess, is also working in this. And I believe Anastasia from Russia, from the Russian taiga, I believe that she is a Christed woman, probably the most powerful human being on the planet today. I believe she's real. She says, I exist for those for whom I exist. I believe she exists for me. I was thrilled in the reading of her books and the story about her by Vladimir Megra in the Ringing Cedars of Russia series. Folks, there's a lot of people that have been bringing us pieces of the puzzle. And I appreciate Kate of Gaia, and I appreciate Heather Tucci-Jaraf, and I appreciate the OPPT, and I appreciate Swiss Indo, and I appreciate Divine Province, and I appreciate the New World Society, and I appreciate the Foster Gamble and the Thrive movement. I appreciate the movement that's coming out of for the Iranian guy that lives in Belgium. What's his name? Quiche, the Quiche Foundation. I appreciate the guy here in Florida that has this vision of a new world. I appreciate the Zeitgeist movement. I appreciate all of these free man and sovereignty movements that are trying to get people to see the truth. I appreciate every one of you, and I don't have to agree with you on every point to sincerely from my heart tell you that I love you and I appreciate the role that you're playing and the things that you're doing to help my brothers and sisters and me wake up so that we can change the world to one that is a golden age, to one that is a higher dimensional reality where there is freedom and justice for all, where there is truth, where there is compassion, where there is love, where there is healing, where there is all the things that we long for and have experienced in such limited quantities because of the fraud and the corruption of people in the highest places of our world that were accelerating our very evolution, because we would not have awakened if we did not suffer. I wish it wasn't that way. It seems like it is. It seems like the reality. And I just want to say thank you for everyone that has played his or her role, because together we are waking up. And the OPPT and all these other things are, maybe they have some poison in them, but it's homeopathy. It's really good medicine, because it's what makes us whole. It's what helps us to remember. It's what helps us reintegrate and come into integrity, integrating the masculine and the feminine, the dark and the light, the physical and the spiritual, bringing all the opposites together. That's our job. That's our healing. Thank you for listening. Namaste.